All right, and we do have some breaking weather news now. Jason, I'm going to toss it over to you.
All right, let's talk about this. We do have a tornado warning in effect for Clark and Monroe counties in our area right now, Lenise, and we're going to be getting this up here shortly. There we go. It just came down, so we wanted to bring this breaking weather news to you as soon as possible. You can see that the warning box is flashing. It just hit our system. This is crossing the Tombigbee River, and this was one of those things we were watching. I told you it had some rotation in it. That is tightened up right there. So it looks like just west of Choctaw Bluff, we are seeing rotation and a radar-indicated tornado, and this warning is going to stay in effect for the next 30 minutes. So we, along this line here, are seeing showers, but this one has had rotation in it, and we've been watching it for about 30 minutes here. And now it's going to be moving up in the direction of, it looks like, Alma and Gainestown. There's Gainestown right there. Here's Choctaw Bluff. We've got the Gosport area and Watley. It could cross the Alabama River somewhere around Claiborne or a little south of there and then end up over towards Purdue Hill. So Alma by 9:41, Gainestown by 9:45, Barlow Bend by 9:50, and what is likely a strong rotation area could be producing a tornado now or at any time. This is possibly, well, I don't know if it's a tornado debris signature, but we're definitely looking at some noise right there. This is Rockville Road. When you get over here towards the Tombigbee on the other side of Bates's Lake, you know, you're in a fairly lowly populated area. But then down here around Choctaw Bluff, there are a lot of communities here, a lot of houses. So we're very concerned as this is going to be moving out of the river swamp, and it's about to track back across Rockville Road and into southern Clark County. We've got real strong inbound, outbound signatures, some rotation right there. Thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located as of 9:27 p.m., so about 4 minutes ago. It was located about 9 miles south of Jackson, Alabama, and I think Jackson's going to be okay. This one is tracking towards the northeast, so it looks like Alma and Gainestown Road area will be next to have to contend with this. It's moving northeast at 40 miles an hour, so this is the first tornado warning we've seen in about 2 or 3 hours. We had a lot of tornado warnings earlier. We had some damage right there around 6 to about 6:30 up to about 7 o'clock in Washington County and Clark County. Now southern Clark County, it's your turn to contend with this, and this is in the area. It's getting up in that enhanced risk zone, part of the Gulf Coast that we've been very concerned about. It's right near Carlton now. So it looks like this is going to be just south of Rockville, which that community is located about right here. And then down to the south, you have Carlton, which is down in through here. And there's a look at some of the interior roads as we head over towards Choctaw Bluff. We've got Society Hill Road, Stimson Road, Rock Pit Road. It looks like the rotation area may go right over the Rock Pit Road area as it pulls out of the lower areas down along the Tombigbee River. And then this will cross southern Clark County, and it's going to move in the direction of Alma as well as Gainestown. And it will be an area that will eventually be affected. Plus, ahead of it, we could see this go right up towards the Alabama River. There's Alma right there. Here's Gainestown. These are some of the roadways once it gets into a more highly populated part of the county. It will get into Prairieville Road, Oregon Road, Johnson Circle, Boardwalk Road, Walker Springs Road. You are all in a tornado warning right now. We do have some strong rotation that is pulling off of the Tombigbee River, and it's about to come across the very southern stretches of Clark County. When you get down in this area here, there's really not a lot of development at all. It's mostly forever wildland and heavily forested land in the floodplain of both the Alabama River and in the Tombigbee River. And it's on pretty much on top of Choctaw Bluff right now. This is the Alabama River here, and this is also the Clark County, Monroe County line. And it looks like the rotation area is quickly zipping across southern Clark County. It is moving to the northeast at 40 miles an hour. And this is in an area that is currently under a tornado watch as well. And it looks like that it will continue going over Choctaw Bluff, Alma, Carlton, and Gainestown. And then once it makes a little bit more progress to the northeast, if the rotation holds together, and it looks like it will end up closer to the Alabama River at Claiborne, Purdue Hill, and the Gosport area, as well as Watley. So it looks like some of the areas that are ahead of this include Barlow Bend, Gainestown, Alma, over in the Carlton area right now. And at this point, we do not have, it appears, Nicholas, a tornado debris signature, but we do see some pretty significant rotation. We have team coverage here on Fox 10 News. I'm here along with meteorologist Nicholas Urboso. When we get in these tornado warnings, it's always a great idea to have more than one set of eyes on things so that we can keep track of where the storm is, where it's going, and what the new information is. And Nicholas, what are you seeing with this particular rotation area?
Well, a couple things that I just noted, looking at this radar picture, we've seen a couple more lightning flashes in with this, and lightning flashes, of course, indicate a stronger storm. That's exactly what we have here. This rotation tightened up just maybe about a few minutes ago as it entered Clark County. That's when that prompted the tornado warning. And if you were watching Jason earlier, we actually mentioned, hey, there's an area, a rotating storm maybe through Washington County. It's about to enter Clark County. Well, now it has entered Clark County. This was when it was really strong just a few minutes ago. Now we move to the current picture, or at least, let's see, a few minutes, or the current picture now, maybe a minute old. Alma Gainestown is the area where we need to be focused in, and this is a decently strong rotation signature. So your course of action is, of course, to seek shelter in an interior room of a sturdy structure away from windows. That's what we always ask you to do with these tornado warnings. If you are in Monroe County and you have gotten this tornado warning on your phone, this is a very small section of Monroe County. Barlow Bend, essentially around the bend there in the river, that is the only section of Monroe County that is included in this. The rest of y'all are technically not in this warning. In fact, there's the update there of the warning, and they have actually trimmed a good chunk of Monroe County out of this. So this is going to be a Gainestown and Alma tornado warning here in Clark County, kind of the southern part of Clark County. This is south of Walker Springs. Walker Springs is not in this warning at this point. Jackson is not in this warning at this point. This is an Alma Gainestown thing. Walker Springs Road, Gainestown Road is where this actual circulation is going, moving off to the northeast here. Barlow Bend here. So that is, of course, literally the bend in the river right here. And of course, as a note from the National Weather Service for tornado warning in Clark County, possible tornado will pass just north of Choctaw Bluff towards Gainestown in the next few minutes. Exactly what we're seeing here. And we have been checking debris just to be sure. For a second, we thought we almost saw something, but I'm not seeing anything at this point. So therefore, this are going with, once again, radar indicated tornado. This is for Clark County, Alabama, Alma, Gainestown. Not a hugely populated area, but there are a decent amount of houses along Gainestown and Walker Springs Road. So that is where we are there. Let me give you some context real quick. If you are in Grove Hill, Jackson, again, you are not in this warning. Thomasville, you're not in this warning. Franklin, Beatrice, not in this warning. However, Beatrice, Monroeville, Franklin, you might be getting some rain from kind of the side of this storm. We'll be keeping an eye on this to see if the rotation does continue there. Washington County, if you're just joining us from far northern Washington County, I'm talking places like Millery, you might be getting a lot of rain or a lot of thunder at this moment. You are now getting into the point where the beginning of the squall line. The squall line is kind of our ending event here with this severe weather event. This will be the last thing that pushes through. That is now entering the Fox 10 viewing area. We showed our timing graphic earlier. Around 9 o'clock it start entering, and what do you know? We have it here. Millery about to get the main part of the squall line. So that's not the tornado threat. That is where maybe we'll have some gusty winds and some heavy rain. And also portions of Greene County now starting to get into the heaviest of the squall lines. That is happening there. Otherwise, it is one tornado warning on the board right now, Jason, and that tornado warning is pretty much all in Clark County at this moment.
Yeah, we do have a Doppler radar indicated tornado, but we do not have a debris signature. We're going to stay with this for a little while longer, and then we're likely going to go back to Fox 10 News and continue with some of the news stories and then get into the forecast too. But right now, it looks like it's headed right for the Alma area. Again, this is not confirmed, but there is some rotation there, so it bears watching. And the National Weather Service did continue this possible tornado moving towards Gainestown, and that was at around 9:36, so that's been about 3 minutes now. There is the rotation area right there. It may be lagging just a little bit. It's probably most likely here somewhere between Choctaw Bluff and Gainestown. It'll move right over Gainestown, and then it will continue over a part of Clark County there as it gets over towards the Alabama River into the floodplain of the Alabama River. So we're going to watch this for just a little while longer here and keep a close eye on it. If this warning is continued into Monroe County, we're definitely going to let you know. There is some very heavy rain here. You're going to be getting some gusty winds. You may or may not be seeing an actual tornado. We have not gotten a confirmation on that. So Gainestown, we want to put up a storm track here so you can see when to expect this. 9:45 in Gainestown. And with this forward speed of about 40 miles an hour, we have it in the Gosport area by 10 o'clock. So in 20 minutes, it's going to jump up here to near the Monroe County line and the Alabama River at Claiborne Lock and Dam. We have it in the Fountain area by 10:14. We've got it in the Franklin area by 10:21. Peterman by 10:26, but we'll see if it holds together that long. We just got a new volume scan in here, so looking at it, looks like there's still some rotation here, but it again is not as robust as it was when the warning was first issued. And it's showing the actual rotation area right here between Gainestown and Alma. So right there is your possible tornado. It's going to be directly on top of Walker Springs Road, and this is south of Gainestown Road here. So it's going to be between Gainestown, I should say, and Walker Springs on Gainestown Road. It is also tracking towards Barlow Bend. It is going to continue working up here towards Highway 84 towards Barlow Bend right there. So some of the areas that are included in this, Claiborne, Purdue Hill, are also included in this warning here for a possible tornado. The inbound, outbound velocities in that 60 mile per hour range. And so we're going to be watching this here as it starts to make its way across southern Clark County. So right now, this is over a fairly rural area. We do not have a confirmed tornado right now, but we did want to give you a real thorough idea of where this is, where it's going. It's about to move away from Gainestown, and it will be over a very rural part of Clark County. So at this point, we want to go back to Fox 10 News at 9:30 p.m. We're going to continue to check in on this cell right here. We're going to go to break, but if we see this thing is touching down or it looks like a more significant situation, we're going to come right back to you with more weather information. Update you on our tornado warning in Clark County. It has just been extended to include parts of Monroe County, and it's covering a much more highly populated area here. Right now, the possible tornado is located about 9 miles south of Watley, and it's right here on the Monroe County, Clark County line. It's going to quickly zip across the Alabama River, and it's moving northeast now at 55 miles an hour. So this possible tornado is flying across Clark County. It's already cleared places like Carlton and southern Clark County. It looks like it's now away from Alma, so it's getting here a little further north. It's north of Barlow Bend, and it's about to track across and into Monroe County. It looks like it's going to do that right around Highway 84, maybe a little south of there, and most likely it's going to cross Highway 84 between Gosport and Purdue Hill. So the National Weather Service has extended this warning, and the new areas included in it include Gosport, and it will be close to Gosport at 9:57. It should be in the Fountain community by 10:07. That is a very quick track. In about 15 minutes, it's going to go from where it is right now all the way over here into Monroe County along Highway 41. Then we have it getting closer to Natchez and River Ridge. So that's going to be out in this area here by 10:15 and 10:20. And looking at it, is still a Doppler radar indicated tornado. We've not been able to confirm this with a tornado debris signature. We are looking at persistent rotation with this. And again, I don't see anything that stands out as definite tornado debris or tornado debris signature. Usually it would be a real tight area of some deeper blue colors, and we're just not exactly seeing that right now. This rotation area is going to cross the Alabama River shortly. It may be doing so now, and that will get it up here along Highway 84 between Purdue Hill and Gosport. So there are a lot of locations in Monroe County that have been included in this warning, and so there's probably a lot of you that have been alerted with your phones, and you're checking in with us here on Fox 10 News to get an update on what's happening. The Fountain area here and along Lena Lindegger Highway here, which runs up from Highway 84. It's County Highway 150, Grain Elevator Road. It looks like it's going to go pretty much right over that particular area there and Purdue Hill. So it also could go over Dales Ferry Road. There may be some fish camps there, and also down Gosport Landing Road right there, and continuing to move on off towards the northeast into Monroe County. And looking at some of the areas that are located in here, we've got the Fountain community. We have it looks like the Alabama River Corps right in there too, which is located between Fountain. It's going to be this complex right here. You've got Claiborne is right there. This is going to be basically going right over Claiborne based on what we're seeing. The rotation area is back here, but remember the forward speed is over 50 miles an hour, so this thing is going to fly across southern Clark County, and then it'll head up towards Scratch Ankle and Keith and Axel and Scotland. These are all areas that are included within the warning, so you've probably gotten this alert here on your phone if you have the Fox 10 weather app. And checking it out here, there's area of rotation way down here in Clark County. It's going to zip up there, and seeing the storm-based polygon, it's right here. So this is showing you the track of the possible tornado. And again, Doppler radar indicated rotation area. There it is there. There's an update. And again, this is not super strong rotation. It should be right on top of Claiborne Lock and Dam and Claiborne here on the Alabama River near Highway 84, and it's going to zip up here into Monroe County. So it'll be interesting to see how long the National Weather Service stays with this. It is a pretty good ways away from the radar site, so we are looking at some mid-level rotation here. It is not as far away as some of the other signatures that we've seen, and when we had damage and so the areas down towards Alma have been dropped from that tornado warning, and you can see the rotation area is now further along. It's up along Highway 84 here, and it looks like we just got an expiry, so we're going to see if that is for this part of it here or if it's just from that old warning. Is that what you're seeing right now, Nicholas?
So now this is just a Monroe County thing. This
Okay.
is just a Monroe County storm. This is northern Monroe County. Center of Monroeville, of course, is not in this warning here. The center of Monroeville is not in this warning. The actual warning here is just north of Monroeville. And this is going to be like we said, towards Fountain and really along Alabama. That's Alabama 41 there. And County Road 17 and Lena Landegger Highway there. Axel, Scratch Ankle, Keith, Scotland, just some of the locations that are included in this. I'm going to get some of the Old Scotland Road, Sticklog Road, McLaurin Loop, McLaurin Road, Deer Swamp Road, Watt Road, and this is now River Ridge, so River Ridge Road, That is kind of the northern extent of the polygon here. You were looking at this rotation signature, which is down here. I'm going to circle it. There you go. There's your rotation signature. Notice the greens here are not super bright. The reds are rather bright, but the greens are not very bright. This was a more impressive signature earlier. It is now kind of a little bit less jarring to look at for us. It's not a screaming signal, but it's still enough of a signal that the Weather Service has decided to continue this warning. Folks in this area just need to be in a sturdy building away from windows in an interior room. If we were to look downstream of this thing, Beatrice is the next in line. Beatrice is technically not in the polygon. However, they are downstream of the warning. So just want to kind of give you the early storm tracker alert, the early heads up that the storm itself is coming your way, even though you're not in the warning at this point. If you're watching us from Monroeville, Frisco City, or southern Monroe County, you are actually not in a tornado warning right now. I know there's a tornado warning for the county, but the actual polygon, the actual storm-based warning is for northern Monroe County. By the way, just checking in elsewhere, look at that line, Jason. That line's pretty robust, but it looks like it's below severe limits, and that is now entering the area as well, Jason.
Yeah, so just to show you what's happening here, this is a squall line, and that is kind of a really imposing kind of a term. It sounds really bad, but it is a linear squall line. You can see how straight it is, and when you don't have a lot of bends and kinks in it, that's actually good. It means it's a little less likely to be producing severe weather. There are some maximums of lightning here in northern Washington County. We're watching that, and there are a couple of little kinks in it, a couple of little bends, but it's pretty straight as it gets back into Perry County, so that is a favorable sign. What you'll see along the squall line will be about a 45-minute period of some very, very heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning, and some very gusty winds. But at this point, we're not seeing anything tornadic embedded within the squall line. That could change at any time. The one area that we do have a tornado warning for here is for some I'd say modest rotation that's occurring right now right on top of Claiborne, and it's quickly moving to the northeast, so it is about to pull away from Claiborne, and it will almost look like when we get that next update that this thing has jumped up towards Highway 41. So it's going to very quickly head up towards the Franklin area as it moves across parts of Monroe County here along Highway 41. It looks like it will not go right towards the Monroe County area. So it does look like it will not go into Monroeville, but it is up into Monroe County there. Fountain, you're next. Franklin, you are in the path of this rotation. It's not incredibly strong. We've not been able to confirm it with a tornado debris signature. This is quickly moving on towards the northeast, and it looks like the tornado warning may be continued. So at 9:59, the tornado warning, it looks like it's continued here. Is that right? Nicholas, we're going to get some new information on this right here. Looks like they've taken Clark County out of it completely.
Yes, so Clark County is out of this, and it is 9:59 right now. A tornado warning remains in effect until 10:15 p.m. for north central Monroe County. You saw the box just flashing on your screen. We have still a weak area of rotation right here that is going to be pressing off to the north. And this is a new kind of extension or update to the tornado warning, Jason. This will continue until 10:15 p.m.
Yes, and it is 10 p.m., and you're probably tuning in for Fox Hid News at 10 p.m. We've been covering this possible tornado for a while as it's moved across southern Clark County. It is now in Monroe County. This is the polygon right here that is showing us where the rotation area is. We want to go ahead and go into Fox 10 News at 10 p.m. We're going to keep a very close eye on this area. If we see this rotation area getting more intense or it looks like we have a tornado on the ground, we're definitely going to go right back to it. But for now, we're going to start Fox 10 News at 10 p.m.
Jason, Nicholas, thank you. We are going to continue with the weather because it is a storm tracker alert day. Some scary moments for a guy driving in Clark County right after a likely tornado there.
Yeah, Kenneth Kilpatrick had no idea Highway 84 was blocked by trees and telephone poles until he slammed right into that debris.
Fortunately, he's okay. Arlie Peck spoke with him as he was waiting on a tow truck. Lee, you're on the road now, but I want to talk about that incredible story you heard.
It was an incredible story, a compelling story. He was a little shaken up, but all right, considering what happened. If we could go to the video, this was video about an hour ago on Highway 84, just east of Highway 69. A lot of damage there, several trees over the roadway, a utility pole down. Again, Ken Kilpatrick had left Dallas this morning, drove some 700 miles to get to this area. He's from this area, coming back for a funeral. When he got to this area, he started, like all of us, receiving those tornado warnings on his cell phone, left and right, he said. And he said at some point he was going about 50 miles per hour on Highway 84 eastbound when he ran into all of that debris, those trees, that utility pole in the middle of the roadway. Take a listen.
You've been on the road today, a lot of miles, and you've been getting the warnings. Tell me about that.
Got about 5 different warnings on my phone that kept going off, and I'm looking left and right. One warning is on the driver's side. The next one's over at Waynesboro. They had one in Butler. They had one in Jackson. I drove through that. Does it ever rain down here?
A little bit.
I'm telling you, I saw more rain today since I left Dallas about 7 o'clock this morning than probably I've seen in 30 years in Texas. I mean, it's just flooded. It's like a hurricane.
So you were getting the warnings left and right, and then you're on 84. And tell me what happened a little bit earlier this evening.
I came through Silas, and there was 3 officers up there, and they had their lights on. I came through real slow, but undoubtedly the tornado had already came through here because nobody knew, but I found it.
And you were in your car, and you actually hit some of the trees that were over the roadway.
Trees, telephone poles, everything was laying right out in the middle of the road.
So you ran into it about 50 miles an hour.
Something in that neighborhood, yeah.
Obviously, it was an abrupt stop. You're not hurt.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't know about my van. I think I can straighten that bumper out. I'm pretty sure I can. When I get it back to Texas, we'll straighten it out. It'll be all right.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, you encounter a lot of things on the roadway, but you feel lucky tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really do. To not come out of this with no injury and anything like that. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
The Lord was with me.
And he definitely is lucky tonight. Crews were working quickly there. They had finished clearing off the roadway there and were moving on to another point. They said there were several locations in between there and Grove Hill. I just spoke with EMA Director Roy Waite of Clark County. He said at this point, Highway 84 and Center Point Road are still closed. All of the other roads have been reopened, and of course, they have received some reports of structure damage. He said one house on Highway 84, he said it collapsed. He didn't really know the extent there, but the good thing is they have not received any reports of injuries. And when I was on the phone with him, he was monitoring that warning that Jason and Nicholas were just talking about. It will likely be a long night for them, a long night for us as we continue to monitor this severe weather. Right now, I'm going to toss it back to you guys in the studio, but live from the Fox 10 Storm Tracker, Lee Peck, Fox 10.
All right, thank you, our Lee Peck reporting there. Quite the story. And really, these warnings and watches have been popping up fast.
It's been a very active weather day for sure. We also have new information about a school bus crash in Mobile County. The bus overturned with more than a dozen students on board.
We'll get to that in a minute. Let's go back to Jason now for the latest on the weather.
Well, Cameron, Lenise, we do have still a tornado warning in Monroe County, and it looks like that rotation area is a little more prominent now that's close to the Franklin community. So we just wanted to give you a quick update on what's happening. There's Fountain right there, and here's Franklin, and there's the rotation. And one of the things that Nicholas was pointing out is that we weren't seeing a lot of green with the velocity product. Now we're starting to see a starker contrast, which means this rotation area is more significant. It was not particularly strong when it was going over Claiborne, but now out here in a very rural part of Monroe County between Highway 41 and US 84, we've got a possible tornado tracking towards Fountain, Franklin, and Scratch Ankle. It looks like it may go pretty much right over Scratch Ankle. Let's take a look at a couple of the roads here in this warning. This is going to be in effect for another 10 minutes. Based on the presentation on radar, radar, I would expect that the National Weather Service would continue the warning. So Wainwright, you're in this thing. We've got Forehead Church Road, County Road 17, Scratch Ankle, County Road 61, Highway 41, and the community of Keith. These are all areas that are included in this tornado warning. You have a very fast-moving area of rotation. It is moving towards the northeast at 50 miles an hour. It is paralleling Lena Lindegger Highway. So it's just north of the highway here by about 2 miles, and it's going to continue running generally to the northeast, the same way the highway runs up towards Fountain and intersects with Highway 41. So we expect it to cross here around County Road 17 and Wainwright, Scratch Ankle, Keith, 41, Franklin, and ultimately River Ridge with this area of rotation right here. Let's check it really quick for debris. We have not seen a tornado debris signature. It is very noisy right here. We're a pretty good ways away from the radar, but we're going to keep monitoring this circulation here on Fox 10 News. We've had some tornadoes touch down in our area within the last day. Looks like we probably had one in Clark County that Lee Peck was talking about. We also have a lot of news from the day, so we want to bring you that, but we're going to continue to monitor this possible tornado that is located here. We haven't had any confirmation on this, correct, Nicholas?
No, they just did a quick update. They're just going to continue the warning. They did a little trimming on it just for this one section of Monroe County, Jason.
Okay, so tornado warning continues for Monroe County along Highway 41. We'll have more on this as we go through the newscast.